Well, hello and welcome to Cozy Couch Corner for another episode of Tea and Tarot. And we got a bit of sunshine and blue sky. We had it early, then we had absolute downpour, and it was really, really dark. Really dark, ridiculously dark before lunchtime. And then it started to break through, the clouds started to part, and the blue saw a bit of blue sky, and eventually the sun made it all the way through. So very grateful for that, because that makes me feel much perkier and much happier. Yeah, so that's awesome. I looked out on the field this morning, and apart from the sheep dotted about, in fact they were pretty much moving to another field, it was full of birds. There was a whole load of starlings and a whole load of crows all over the field. So I don't know what was there that was good, but there must have been something. And then they did get spooked at one point because the starlings started to do a murmuration, and then the crows went after them, and then they all went back and settled down again. But they were busy. Maybe it's because the ground was wet and it was good for worms or something. I don't know. Don't know if crows eat seeds. They probably do. But a lot of them sort of eat worms and eat seeds, don't they? I don't know what starlings eat. Should have looked it up, really. I've heard the seagull on the chimney, because it always sounds like it's in the chimney, and it's not. The seagulls are too big to fall down. So, yeah. But yeah, the wind got up again, so not seen so many of them. Enjoying my tea. And the way I'm going, I'll have finished it before I even get to the tarot. I do the tarot. I've got a weekend one to do, haven't I? Saturday and Sunday. Right. That's interesting. And he's going in an interesting fashion. Not sure I can explain it. It's like it was going in a slow oscillation rather than in circles or ovals, which it normally does. So anyway, we shall see what happens, shan't we? What message do you have for us for Saturday, the 29th of November, 2025, please? Oh, that was clear. We've had this one. We're having it again. Yep. That way up. That way up. It's the 9 of Swords. Are we having that one? Are we having it upright? I was going to say Pelly, I can't remember. It's the Queen of Wands, I'm pretty sure. Oh, that's it. Queen of Wands, and then you can actually read it. Queen of Wands. We're having that one as well. The Queen of Coins. So, right, let's put that in the middle and that there, so I know what order they're going in. We're having this one that's sticking out. Interesting. Are we having it that way up? No, we're having that reversed. That's from yesterday. Page of Cups reversed. No, we're not having any more. Right. I think they're training me up. 9 of Swords. Usually read a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it is a fulfillment, but it's asking, what are we bringing to fulfillment? Are we bringing the right things to fulfillment? Or the things that we want, the things that are positive in our life, and not focusing on the negative and the catastrophizing and the things that we don't want. And sometimes the things that we don't want take our attention. They really do. Especially if it's fear-based. So, yeah, trying to get off that. But I was drawn to the baby. It's about growing things, isn't it? And that's what the baby's telling me. We're growing something. So the baby grows. Sometimes it's a seed. I get seeds, don't I, sometimes. But this is because there's a baby on the card. It's a baby. It's about loving and nurturing and feeding the baby and helping it to grow. I've got teaching it the way you want it to go. I mean, generally, if it was a real child, you'd be letting them find their own way to a degree. I mean, not when they're really tiny, but you don't enforce what you want them to be. But this is a metaphor for what we're trying to bring to fulfillment. So we want to make sure we get what we want, don't we? Or at least sometimes it's what we think we want. But we know what we're working on and what we want to bring to fulfillment. Queen of Wands. Yep, taking a step forward. Clearing the way. And Pele, Queen of Wands, it's destruction and creation. So when we move forward, when things come to fruition, other things sort of have to go, don't they? We do have to clear a path, and we do have to get rid of things that aren't helping us to move forward. We have to get rid of things that are holding us back. Whether that's physical things, that's situations, it's people, it's bad programming. I was going to say psychological issues we need to work on, but it is, I mean, trauma recovery for a lot of us. Getting rid of stuff, leaving stuff behind, which is probably going to figure quite heavily at the moment because we're moving towards the end of the year. And this was a 9-year of fulfillment. It was the year of the Chinese year of the snake, which is shedding our skin. I'll be blowed if I can remember anything else about it, but shedding our skin. And next year is a 1 year, so that's a big new beginning again, isn't it? New Year's often new beginnings anyway. And then 1 is a new beginning, and later February, I think it's February, pretty sure it's February, March time, probably February is Chinese New Year, and we move into the year of the horse, and that's more dynamic and that's more about movement. And somebody was talking yesterday, had to do with fire as well, which is sort of passion, the heart. So that's coming in. So I think we're probably going to get a lot still, because this was a year about releasing the old us, releasing the old things, releasing things that we're not taking forward with us, releasing things we don't want to take forward with us. The Queen of Coins. Yeah. It's about being nurtured and about being loved. Because the Queen of Coins, the nurturer, the Queen is usually quite well, I wouldn't say the Queen of Swords was necessarily empathetic, but it's more feminine energy than the masculine king energy. So traits we associate with the feminine. And it's not just about us nurturing and loving ourselves, which is important. It's also about the people that are in our life, or possibly the places that we put ourselves. Does it feel loving and nurturing? Because some people in some places are definitely not. Some people in some places, I'm thinking workplaces as well, can be extremely detrimental. And she's got a circle behind her, which I'm being told is a moon. And that again's about our intuition and using our intuition. And it is, if you're a trauma survivor, difficult to access your intuition sometimes, because your nervous system can just sort of hijack everything and take over. And usually if something's screaming, I usually say if something's screaming at you, it's your nervous system and not your intuition. But also sometimes some things are screaming at you, and that's your body telling you to get the hell away from that person or that place. So it's using your own discernment, really, to so often these days, I think, as people are turning on to intuition, we've been told to be nice to people, to be polite, and that means ignoring our intuition when our intuition's been actually screaming at us to get the hell away from somebody or something. But we have to be nice and we have to be polite. No, we don't. I did hear someone the other day say kindness was important, that we should be kind but not nice, because nice means we're behaving in, it's like we want to be liked, or we're behaving in a way to be liked. And I think it's more than that, because a lot of us were taught to be nice. Girls, I think, more than boys growing up. But that can get us in situations that aren't safe or aren't helpful or healthy for us, because we think we have to be nice and we have to be polite. And more than it's just us wanting to be liked, it's how we've been programmed. So yeah, if your intuition's been telling you something about a person or a place, your gut's going off, or you've just got this feeling that you can't pin down, but it kind of feels a bit off, listen to it. Yeah. And then we get onto the Page of Cups again, which we had, I don't know if we had it yesterday because I lose track. And that's about releasing ourselves. So we're still, as we come into the year, I kind of suspect these messages are going to get stronger or more frequent or more something, about releasing things that aren't serving us, releasing things that we don't want to carry forward into the new year, or into the new us, or into our new life. What are we aiming for? What do we want there? What are we having in our new life? What are we having? We get to the place that we want to be. And what's going to be there, and what do we need to leave behind? Okay, that's it. I've nearly drunk my tea now. I've nearly drunk my tea. I've got to do Sundays now. Right. Stick them all in different places, so that they don't, so that in theory, they don't stand a chance of coming out together again. At least. Right. Okay. Oh, no. I wondered. I took my hat off. I got told to take my hat off before I started. But I wasn't feeling the warmth. I wasn't feeling the energy. and the warmth, and suddenly it's just gone, whoosh. Right. Settle back in. Okay. What message do you have for us for Sunday, the 30th of November, 2025, please? Oh, I'm going to write out one now. No. It split and then it went back. Oh, that was clear. That way up. King of Wands. Pretty sure it's the... Stick my head out and it might get... You'll be able to read it or see it properly. I'm not sure, it's a bit glary. That's better. What was that? King of Wands. Pretty sure it's a phoenix rising out of the ashes. Right. That way up. And again, we have the Queen of Wands. I'm just checking I read it right the first time, but we're having it again in this reading. Right, I'm settling down now. I've got hot one on. I'm not surprised. We are the phoenix rising out of the ashes, people. What do you want to tell me with this? We're rising. And I say it doesn't matter where we've been, but I always say that with the proviso that I would validate anybody else's trauma. It's not letting it hold us back. It's not letting anything that's happened in the past hold us back, or anything that's happened define us. Because we've all had got different backgrounds, had different sorts of lives, and different sort of things happen. Sometimes, there might be people listening to this that hasn't had a crappy past, frankly. But whatever it is, whatever we've been through, whatever has dinted us or dimmed our light in any way, for those of us that's happened to, it's not letting it hold us back, and it's not letting it... That's not who we are. You can be whatever you want to be. Yeah, it's not getting in the trap of sitting in victim energy and thinking that that's what everything's going to be about. That it's coming from a sense of empowerment, from an empowered position. We can make changes. Sometimes in the situations that we're in, they're only very, very tiny changes. Teeny tiny changes. But that'll still shift you a teeny tiny bit, and then keep going. Teeny tiny bit, teeny tiny bit. You can shift in little tiny bits. You don't have to make massive changes. And it's more, I think somebody said psychologically, it's more sustainable if you make little changes over time consistently than if you try and make a massive change. Because sometimes we can try and make a massive change and then we can't keep it up. We can't be consistent and we can't keep it going. It's too much. It's like if you go from sitting on your ass on the sofa to suddenly going, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. And I'm sure there are some people that will actually manage that, but most people, it's like a heck of a shock to the system, and probably not going to be consistent on it. But if you just go, look, I'm going to do 10 minutes of exercise at home and build it up, or whatever you do. I'm going for a short session at the gym 1 day a week or something. Don't know why that came to my mind. I don't go to the gym. Yeah, but again, whatever our past is, we get to write the future. And we're heading for a bright, shiny, happy future. And that is something to hang on to with the state of the world at the moment and the things that are going on, most of which I try to avoid knowing about. It's not good for my mental health. It's to stay positive and to stay hopeful. And things are changing, and we get to the Queen of Wands and Pele clearing a path. It's not just us individually clearing away things that are in our way, that are holding us back, that don't serve us anymore, or that are not healthy or positive for us. It's happening in the world as well. I mean, yeah, it's a 5 year as well as it's being a 9 year. It's a 5, and the 5 is change, transformation, and the 9 being the end. And you add the numbers up, you get the 9, and shedding the skin. It's not just us. It's not just us individually. It's happening on a global level. Things are being cleared. It looks chaotic at the moment. It's going to look chaotic. Transformation, change is chaotic. But it's clearing a path. It's clearing the path for something better. And that's what we're doing. There we are then.